Downs. Mr. Caderas. Mr. Kurtz.
Here.
Mr. Natale.
Here.
Mr. Strollo. Mr. Tedisco. Here. Mr. Lake. Here. Mr. Selma. Here.
Okay, Commission Public, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business tonight is the special permit of James Barbado for property located at 920 South Main Street. Can we hear the call for that, please? Yeah, how many? Because we're missing two.
Application for special permit of James Barbado, owner and applicant pursuant to section 30 and 40 of the Cheshire zoning regulations. Application is for the expansion of permanent outdoor seating for a restaurant. Property located at 920 South Main Street, Assessors Map 78, Lot 157, Zone C3.
Okay, I need two alternates for this one, whoever wants to come on up. All right, and representing the applicant tonight, you walk to the microphone, name and address, and just talk a little bit about your project, please.
Good evening. My name is James Barbado, 54 Harrison Road, and my partner Joe Barbado is here with me tonight. I would like to submit a quick opening statement. Good evening. I'd like to thank everyone for their time and consideration this evening. I am one of the owners of Rose Dairy and Partners in Barbado Realty LLC here in Cheshire, Connecticut. My family has owned land and business in the town of Cheshire since the 1950s. The first Rose Dairy was established in 1951 by my grandparents at the location of 906 South Main Street. My family reopened it in 2005 at its original location. My brother and I have been operating the store since, and this is going into our 18th season. As the years have passed, our business has grown. The past few years, it's been busier than ever. I come before you today to request a special permit that will allow us to build a permanent freestanding pavilion over our already existing outdoor seating area. It serves many purposes. One, giving our customers covering during the hot summer days from the sun or shelter from the rain, usually circumstances that see an empty patio during the season. We recently went through and were granted a variance to build due to the unique parcel of the land, and there is not another option to have our seating area in a different location. The structure would blend into the existing building and terrain, and we have notified neighbors of our intent and have received nothing but support. We would like to continue to serve the community by extending our season, and the pavilion would allow us to open earlier in the season and close later. Our hope is to build the structure directly over our patio as it exists now. And to sum it up, my family and I love this community, and we are proud to serve it. We want to be able to provide comfort to our patrons and ensure many more years of Rose Dairy. Thank you.
Okay, so it looks like it's just going to the left of the building, right in that fenced-in area, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, and it's freestanding, it's all off the building, it's
Yep.
nothing attaches to the building?
Mhm.
Okay. And they needed to go to ZBA because they were too close to Route 10, or what was the issue for
They
ZBA?
actually had to receive two variances. They had a variance for the front yard setback and the rear yard, the side yard setback.
Bone?
Yes, so this was approved by ZBA?
Correct.
Okay. At DBA, was there anyone, you obviously went to a public hearing?
That's correct.
Okay. Was there anyone that spoke against this at the public hearing?
No, actually, the owner of the Yes. You're welcome.
The roof, what is it going to be made of? What color? Or is it going to match?
Right now, we're still in the middle of planning. We're the rough draft that you have in design is a gable roof, but we're actually leaning more towards a hip roof. We're actually looking to do something more closer to what Bellagio has right now. If you guys been in their back patio, not something to have just the truss system and everything else that goes along with the hip roof, and that's where we're trending towards playing of right now.
Is there going to be any heaters or anything for the
I'm sorry?
colder? Is there going to be heaters in the roof or anything for?
Yep. We're going to have ceiling fans, the electrical work. We have lighting, and then eventually to help extend our ceiling a little bit is putting the heated lamps as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other commission members? To, this is our, something we've a long time. It's a little easier where applicants don't have to come in front. Simple things like accessory apartment under our Cheshire. Has any comments, they can make comments. Otherwise, I don't think anyone from the public is here, but we can certainly ask. And
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just,
it just
it simplifies the approval process.
Yep.
There's no standards or qualifying standards.
yeah, it's just how many times we've had someone in here and it's been a 5-minute, not even a 2-minute public hearing and unnecessary. Mr. Natali.
Yep, Mike, just for the record, what's the difference in the fees between going for the administrator versus coming here?
The application for a special exception is just under $500 for them to come here tonight with the state fees. Administrative zoning permit is $50. So there's an immediate savings. He or she does not have to come before the commission.
Gotcha. It's savings for something that I don't think in all my years here, I don't think we've ever denied one. So it's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bowman, then Mr. Tedesco.
I'm in favor. So do you see any reason why a situation would ever arise where you would want to come to the commission on one of these?
So it would have to be someone that, because there is the provision in there that the commission, that the staff can forward it to the commission. It would have to be someone that, like, for example, they are not providing documentation that this is still relative only. Then we may forward this to you to say, listen, it may meet the design standards. However, under the current regulations, it needs to be a relative. We're recommending denial. And that may just to keep you in the loop to say, are we getting a lot of requests of people questioning that standard? And
Well, it can't be denied administratively?
He could, but I would like to keep the commission informed of that, because if we are we're getting more requests to say, I want to have an apartment for rental purposes. I want the commission to be aware of it. But as I said, under the regs, it would be denied for the fact you're not providing an affidavit certifying that it will be only family living there.
That's a big deal. To me, that's a big deal. Like, I wouldn't do this if it has to remain exactly the way it is, administratively or coming in front of us. You should have, I hope you have the right to say, sorry, that can't happen.
We do, but we would like to keep you informed. Like
You
I
can
said,
keep us informed, but tell them it's
It's a no.
a no.
And then-
They cannot do it.
But one thing, just to maybe clarify though, when an application say it's denied, that applicant has the right to appeal to the zoning board of appeals. They can say that the zoning enforcement officer, he or she, it made a decision in error, and then the ZBA hears the facts related to that case. But more importantly, like I said, to keep your regulations fresh, we would inform you that we're getting requests. Maybe it's time to revisit that, should that come down the road. But that's
But
not,
if it's not allowed,
it would be
how
denied.
could it's denied? It shouldn't even be brought in if it's not allowed.
Understand, but we still would inform you that we have people requesting that. just to say, does the commission want to revisit that portion of the reg? But as you said, that application would be denied.
I don't even think it should be even brought in. Wouldn't even, if they can't follow the regulations, why does it have to be approved or denied? It shouldn't even be brought to us if they can't follow the regulations.
Could there be something that's on the hairy line, like they did some little weird connector thing to say it's attached and it's not, but you want us to like
For
go
an
over and talk about it?
interpretation.
Yeah.
Correct. That's another way, another issue that could be related to it. And it's because it really is your regulation, so we'd want to make sure that you agree with any interpretation that staff did. And those are really 1 in 100 situations that will pop up. This is not something that you probably will see ever again, as the commission wants to keep it streamlined and administrative.
I just didn't mean to jump in on you, Lou. I didn't
No,
like that
I-
answer.
My questions were answered. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Bohm?
Just for clarification, this is only for in-law apartments, and we are not changing any other regulation to allow apartments without coming in front of planning and zoning. This is just for an accessory apartment that meets all the regulations, will be administratively reviewed. And if you feel there's something wrong with it, you have the ability to bring it in front of this commission. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
I like that, but I still can't, if they don't meet the regulations, why are they even coming in front of us? They should be null and void and not even brought into the office, not even accepted.
Well,
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
legally they have a right.
yeah.
We don't allow it as of right, but they can come in and ask for it, and we say no, we deny them, they can appeal us. That makes no sense to me.
Well, I mean, it's anything that goes through either if it's an administrative decision, they always have that right to appeal the zoning officer's decision to the zoning board of appeals. At the same time, as I said earlier, the carrier situations, which really are open for interpretation, we prefer to make sure that we're on the same page with the commission. And that's 1 in 100 chance. It's really not something that's going to happen on a regular basis. So. And
So
just to
what-
assure you that we're following your regulations.
So basically what happens, you're gonna do it under administration,
Yeah, administratively.
yeah. I guess you've been around long enough to ask the right questions, so.
Well, I mean, we basically rely on what Michael tells us on these anyway. He says it complies with the regulations and we go along with it. And there's probably situations where, there may or may not be some situations where things come in that don't meet the regulations and you tell the person at that point, they take it back and fix it or don't come back, right?
That's what I would just assume that would happen with if someone came in and said, no, I'm not building it for my family member, I'm building it for a rental income. That's why we shouldn't even accept the application. That's kind of what I'm trying to.
Well, legally, we have to accept it regardless if it meets the regs or not. What we would do at that point would be deny it. But, if that case were to keep a continuing trend, that's
Okay.
where it would be like, listen, I want to just talk to you. We've denied 6 applications the past month. The reason why all 6 were denied is the following. Is it worth looking at the regulations at this point, or do we say status quo? Sorry.
Well, most people would change it to, sorry, my
Yeah.
family member's going to live there. Okay. All right, any other commission members? Public, anyone from the public wishing to speak on this? No? Okay, I'm going to close this public hearing also. Because we have a few people leaving tonight before the other one, I'm going to recess the public hearing and call to order the regular meeting for Monday, March 13th, 2023. We're going to skip the minutes, and skip all the communications. We're going to go right to the motion for Rose Dairy, please. Is everyone okay with that tonight, voting on Rose Dairy? Okay,
Move staff wording.
we didn't even hear the wording yet.
Well, read it.
Thank you. Motion to approve application for special permit of James Barbado, owner and applicant pursuant to section 30 and 40 of the Cheshire zoning regulations. Applications for the expansion of permanent outdoor seating for a restaurant property located at 920 South Main Street, Assessors Map 78, Lot 157, Zone C3. The approval is based on plans titled Boundary Reconfiguration Plan prepared for Barbado Realty LLC, 920 and 922 South Main Street, prepared by Rob Hellstrom Land Serving, revision date of May 17th, 2022. Further, Chester Planning and Zoning Commission finds the applicant has demonstrated compliance with the Cheshire zoning regulations.
So moved, or moved.
Coleman, seconded by Mr. Mercado. Before we start discussion, John, I'm gonna kick you out of this because Mr. Kaderis has shown up, so we just need one voting, so Mr. Hilsinger will not be voting on this. Discussion on this motion. Mr. Natale, Mr. Mercado.
Thank you. I think it's a good application. I think it's long overdue. Good luck on your extended season. I'll be voting in favor of this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a nice addition. The kids are definitely going to like it after all their sports. I see them there all the time. We're there. Great thing. Hope it fits in and looks nice and melds with what's there. Great job. Thank you.
All vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Good luck to you guys. We have a motion for our application for the accessory apartments.
Yes, motion to approve petition for zone change on behalf of the Cheshire Planning and Zoning Commission petitioner. Applicants requesting that section 30.5 accessory apartments zoning regulations be amended, adding an administrative zoning permit as approval. The Planning and Zoning Commission finds the proposed text amendment is consistent with the goals and objectives of the 2016 Plan of Conservation Development. Further, the commission sets an effective date of April 1st, 2023.
Move Mr. Kaderis, seconded by Mr. Mercado. Discussion on this motion. We just had a big discussion. I mean, we're all in favor of it. We don't want to see people come up here getting dragged up here, spending money, and unnecessary money. And I think our staff will do a great job and not let us down. So all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so now I will recess our regular meeting, go back to our public hearing. And we are continuing the public hearing for TriStar Development. Let's hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh,
Mr.
wait a minute.
Chairman?
Yeah,
I'm recusing myself.
you're recusing yourself. You know what? They do not read 6, right? Is 6 the,
So
which one is the gas station?
the gas station would be 1, 2, and 3 for the continued public hearings. And then the other is lot.
So we'll just do backwards. So we'll just do 1, 2. Let's hear 1, 2, and 3. Because we can't do them together, right? They're two
No,
different.
because they're separate properties, unfortunately.
One, application for approval of interchange special development project on behalf of Route 10 Fuel and Market Incorporated. Applicant, TriStar Development LLC and Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC owners. Applicant is requesting an approval of interchange special development project for gas station with convenience store and drive-through located at 1953 Highland Ave. Assessors map 4, lot 13, zoned ICSDD. 2, application for special permit on behalf of Route 10 Fuel and Market Incorporated. Applicant TriStar Development LLC and Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC owners. Applicant is requesting special permit pursuant to section 50 and 45B5 of the zoning regulations for a gas station with convenience store and drive-through located at 1953 Highland Ave. Assessors map 4, lot 13, zoned ICSDD. 3, application for earth removal, filling, or regrading permit on behalf of Route 10 Fuel and Market Incorporated. Applicant TriStar Development LLC and Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC owners. Applicant is requesting permit pursuant to section 25 of the zoning regulations for earth removal, filling, or regrading of the property located at 1953 Highland Ave. Assessors map 4, lot 13, zoned ICSDD.
Thank you. And representing the applicant tonight? Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry. Mr. Natale has some.
For the record, I want to say I wasn't here at the last meeting, but I did watch the public hearings 1.5 times. Halftime from a plane, it cut out. And I've read all the notes and everything, so I am fully up to speed. And thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, like Jeff, I did the same thing. I watched the public hearing and I'm familiar with the discussion that took place.
No, I think you can go.
For the record, my name is Anthony Fazzone. I'm an attorney here in Cheshire of the law firm of Fazzone, Ryan, and Ricciuti, representing the applicant. And this is as the call of the meeting stated, it's a continuation of the public hearing held on February 27th. We had basically finished our presentation. The commission, I believe, it's fair to say, was ready to close the public hearing at that time, but since there wasn't going to be a vote, the meeting was continued to this evening, partially to see if there were any questions that might have been brought up by members of the commission. To my knowledge, there have not been any. I've discussed that with Mr. Glidden. Mr. Overton, Darren Overton, the professional engineer on the project, is here this evening, as is Matt Whitmer, the architect. If the commission would like to see the site plan again and/or the architecture again.
Okay. I did have one question. I asked Mr. Glidden, that fourth detached building, I was just curious what it was, and he said something about urgent care.
That's different.
That's a different application.
Oh, God,
Different application.
I'm all messed up. I'm sorry. This is just a gas station.
This is just.
I forgot. We switched it around. Last time we did the gas station second and the other project first, so I'm still, sorry. Sorry, Ms. Downs.
On page, I'm not sure what page it is. It's a letter from Ronald Walters. And number 3, it says, if future access to the parcel were proposed, the access would not be allowed to the portion of the property within the APA. What does that mean?
Part of this property is located over the North Cheshire Aquifer
Right.
Field. And there is no activity proposed on that portion of the site. There's no building, there's no gas tanks, there's no parking lot over that portion of the property that's over the aquifer. However, if we were to propose a driveway off of Highland Avenue to access the property, that would come directly across the aquifer area. And according to the state's interpretation, that then brings it to be a regulated activity in the aquifer protection zone. And he's saying, and we are not here seeking to have an access over the portion of the lot that's over the aquifer protection area. The access to the parcel comes in off of the new road that's being built, and it's outside of the aquifer protection area.
Okay. Is this also lot 6 that we're talking about?
No, this is just lot 1.
Just lot 1. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Dawson.
I want to thank you, Mr. Fazzone. I was making it real clear, and that was a good presentation as far as I'm concerned on that aquifer. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's good for the record, as you know I'm trying to say.
There is actually in the minutes of the meeting, it says that the Regional Water Authority has responded with a letter stating that there are no prohibited practices or unregulated activities over the aquifer. What the letter states is that there are no prohibited practices or regulated activities. If you are trying to put a regulated activity over the aquifer, you need to come before your APA, your Aquifer Protection Agency, for approval to do that. But we are not proposing a prohibited activity or a regulated activity over the aquifer zone.
Thank you.
Any other commission members, questions? No? Anyone from the public who should ask questions on this? No? Okay. If you're all set, I'm going to close this public hearing. All right, moving on. Let's hear 4, 5, and 6 for the Miller, Napolitano, and Wolf, please.
4, application for approval of interchange special development project on behalf of TriStar Development LLC and Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC, applicant and owners. Applicant is requesting an approval for interchange special development project for a mixed-use development, including commercial, retail, and restaurants located at 2061 Highland Ave and adjacent parcels 1973 and 1989 Highland Ave. Assessors map 4, lot 4, 7, and 9, map 3, parcel 58. See lots 5 and 6 on map 4871 filed in town clerk's office, zoned ICSDD. 5, application for special permit on behalf of TriStar Development LLC and Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC, applicants and owners. Applicant is requesting a special permit pursuant to section 50 and 45B5 of the zoning regulations for mixed-use development, including commercial, retail, and restaurants located at 2061 Highland Ave and adjacent parcels 1973 and 1989 Highland Ave. Assessors map 4, lot 4, 7, and 9, map 3, parcel 58. See lots 5 and 6 on map 4871, filed in town clerk's office, zoned ICSDD. 6, application for earth removal, filling, or regrading permit on behalf of TriStar Development LLC and Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC, applicant and owners. Applicant is requesting permit pursuant to section 25 of zoning regulations for earth removal, filling, or regrading for the property located at 2061 Highland Ave and adjacent parcels 1973 and 1989 Highland Ave. Assessor map 4, lot 4, 7, and 9, maps 3, parcel 58. See lots 5 and 6 on map 4871, filed in town clerk's office, zoned ICSDD.
Thank you. And the applicant?
For the record, my name is Anthony Fazzone. I'm an attorney here in Cheshire with the law firm of Fazzone, Ryan, and Ricciuti, representing the applicant. One small housekeeping, the architect who was here at the previous meeting was Thomas Scott, and he has sent me his resume and a brief description of his firm. I would like to introduce that into the record.
We have a copy. Everyone has a copy up here.
Yeah.
There you go, so.
There was, at the February 27th meeting, we did have a fairly lengthy presentation. The applicant did not get into any degree of the grading that's involved in the site plan. Darren Overton is here this evening, and he will go over the site plan again. There did seem to be some confusion with respect to the site plan and its being part of the overall application. And there were also questions with respect to the architecture on the buildings located to the front of the site. So I'm going to ask Darren to go over the grading and the waivers that we're requesting in terms of the amount of grading on the site.
Good evening. For the record, Darren Overton from SLR Consulting. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of Connecticut. SLR has offices here in Cheshire at 99 Realty Drive. So for the grading on the site, in order to create a retail facility, you have to create a relatively flat pad. You want to have simple walkable accessibility, and we do have to meet the ADA requirements. ADA requirements for parking spaces are that the parking spaces have to be 2% or less in grade. And essentially, we need to distribute them around the site. So our grading approach on this was to grade a site that was basically had a grade of around 1.5%. One of the things, and we sought to have a balanced earthwork job as part of this. So we looked at the grades throughout the site, started creating a pad on the site, and we have a central ridge that kind of runs in a north-south manner, kind of through this area here. You could see it, the old road cut here for what was used as a staging area for the 691 development. You can see there's a cut through that ridge, and then the ridge carries north before it kind of blends into the grade as you approach the northern property line. So what we found is that the site, to be a balanced earthwork job, wanted to sit below Route 10. So we brought the access road grade in, that northern access road, down about 4%. That's about the steepest we wanted to bring it to have reasonable vehicular access. And we were expecting that there was potential that the delivery truck traffic could utilize that access as well. So we came down about 4%, and that is really the steepest grade on the site, other than where you get outside of the pavement areas and we're blending in grade to existing. So we looked at the earth removal and regrading application, and there were 3 waivers that were requested. One is related to 25.3.3, and that's references the 5-acre limit of disturbance. With a project like this, where you're creating a large pad, it's completely impractical to work in 5 acres at a time. We are trying to excavate material from the high side of the site and place it, that's not even an adjacent area, on the lower part of the site. So we requested a waiver for that section and to be able to open up more than 5 acres at a time, which will speed up construction, speed up the earthwork, and we believe is going to be a benefit to the project to be able to do that. So that's one of the waivers that was requested. Then under 25.3.9, it talks about grading within 55 feet or within 50 feet of a roadway. As I mentioned, in order to balance this out, we wanted to be below the road. This is a state road along the frontage. We didn't want to have guide rail along the frontage. So in grading that out, we created gentle slopes where we can avoid guide rail. So we have a 4-to-1 grade coming down off of the shoulder. We've created sections that have been submitted to DOT and approved, where we have adequate shoulder for vehicle safety should a vehicle go off the road, and we have the gentle slopes that they require to avoid having guide rails along there. So we do have excavation within 50 feet, and that's why we've asked for the waiver, because in order to balance this out, we really want to drop this site below the road. I mean, in an ideal world, we'd have it up even with the road. Most operators or tenants in a retail facility like visibility. They like to be up at the road level, so it's easy to see as you're driving by in your car. In this particular case, it wasn't practical to do that. We've dropped it down, but it doesn't drop down dramatically below the road. So there's still good visibility for the center. And then the third waiver we asked for is 25.3.11. And that says at all stages of work, if you have a depth of excavation of 10 feet or more, to avoid sloping any steeper than 2-to-1. So we are definitely going to have excavation here in excess of 10 feet. We are going to have fills to the rear or western part of the site that are in excess of 10 feet. The contractor is not expected to have slopes at any time that are steeper than 2-to-1 in doing the earthwork. The contractor doing the earthwork is not going to want to create a hazardous site and having steep, unstable slopes for their employees to work. So we asked for the waiver of that because we were going to have larger cuts and fills than the guideline under number 11. So we've graded this out. It's close to a balance. It's a slight excess. We've created a pad that's easily walkable, meets ADA standards. The slight excess that may be generated from this development, we anticipate will be placed adjacent to this, possibly on lot 4. There's a low area in the back of that could see some fill to level out the future development pad for that site. That site was planned and part of the master plan, but there currently is no detailed design for it. So that describes the earthwork, and there's a full grading and utilities plan that was included in the set. If you have any more questions on that or anything else in regard to the application, I'd be happy to answer them at this time. If not, I'll turn it back over to Anthony.
Anybody? Questions for, yes, Mr. Tedesco?
I mean, this probably goes without saying, but just for the record, none of the waivers create any kind of danger to the public or any public health issues?
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Mrs. Downs?
My question isn't about
Oh,
those
yeah, it's fair.
specific waivers, so wait, or
No, is it about the site plan for Darren? For Mr.
it's
Overton?
about the water, it's, I just have a couple questions, but it's probably not you. I'm not sure if it's you or Mr. Attorney.
About the Regional Water Authority,
Yeah,
might be best answered by Anthony.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Overton while he's up here? Okay.
In reading over the material, and this is a letter signed by you, February 6th, it says, none of the development occurs over that area except the completion of the road and some landscape. Is that what I just asked you about before? This is a different property, right?
That's
Not
this
the ga-
property.
this- okay.
That's,
So you're asking to put a road over the aquifer?
that's already been approved by this commission.
Okay. And
By
so-
there's a tiny section that cuts across Lot 1 and actually goes a little bit into Lot 6. But the only activity is the public road was approved as part of the subdivision, and the Regional Water Authority was notified at that time also that that was going in, and they had no objection to that.
So we've already approved this anyway.
The road has been approved.
Okay. Thank you.
There's also a small portion at the north end of this part, the north end of Lot 5, that is over the part of Southington's, the area of
Right, that's-
well number 2 in Southington. They've been notified according to the statute by certified mail, return receipt requested. Those receipts are in the file. They have not responded to us or put in any kind of objection. And again, there is no prohibited activity or regulated activity over the aquifer in that area.
Okay. Thank you.
Commission members, any other?
I have a question. It concerns landscaping, but I don't know if this is the time or.
Do you have any other,
The architect is here if you want to
anyone wants, well,
see.
he was here. I think he might have. No, he's not here. The architect's not here.
No, this is the architect.
The architect on the other
Oh,
project
other
is here.
architect
Now
is
you're
got
mixing
me
up the
confused.
projects.
The architect is not here. I have a substitute architect.
I don't know. He might have left.
No, he's here.
He's still here. Okay.
He's incognito.
Okay.
He is here to talk about the architecture with respect, examples of the architecture that you've been provided with that
That's
deal
nice.
with the front lots, if you'd like to see full-scale size of those. Mr. Bowman.
Oh, he's the sub?
He's the sub, yeah.
For the record, Paul Bowman, 387 Mount Sanford Road in Cheshire. I am not an architect. I promise you that. But the Tom Scott didn't get home until well after 1 o'clock last time. So with the storm pending, he asked that he wasn't mandated that he came. So I told him I would try to do the best I could. At the last meeting, there were some questions regarding what the building out at Route 10 were going to look like. And I submitted for the record, and it looks like most of you have, or all of you may have copies of that. And it's the three boards that I'll share with you. So when you look at the first one, it's showing, if you look down in the right-hand lower corner, there's an orange square, and that kind of represents where these buildings are in the plaza. So this particular building is units 13 and 14, and it's combined, and it's at the north end of the site. So I think there was some discussion of the types of materials and what we were going to use. And so I'm going to get to that in a minute because that'll be on the last page. But this is a general representation of what the building is expected to look like. I need you to keep in mind that if a tenant takes one of the spaces, that they're going to want to try to introduce their trade dress architecture into each unit. I really don't want to mention any names, but if you have restaurants that come in that have a particular color, they have a particular style, they have a particular orientation, that's going to be important in part of what they're trying to accomplish. So those are the only changes, but generally you can see we've tried to keep the buildings in harmony with the rest of the center. And we have some unique, some varying character to it. We have cementous board, which is like a hardy board, horizontally, vertically. We'll be using in some of the areas an ethos wall system, which is kind of like a stucco. You would see that basically there's a new bank that was just built on the east side of Route 10, up by Stop and Shop. So that is that type of product. So it's, we want the ability to use stone. We want the ability to use some brick veneer as well. And so all those products would be incorporated into various parts of these buildings. So do we have any questions on this particular?
I like it. It's beautiful. I hope our planner can use this to show to other potential developers that come into town of what we're looking for, because this is it. Thank you.
I got Mr. Salomon first then. Yeah. So you didn't draw these by hand, Paul?
No.
Yeah. I was going to give you the credit as the architect.
I couldn't even come close to that. Trust me.
They're great. They're very nice. And
Thank you.
Appreciate the effort.
Yeah, that particular illustration kind of gives you an idea that some of the roof lines are going to be some flat roofs with mansards and gables, and they're going to vary a lot, like you see up and down Route 10 right now. Another example of the ethos would be Byron Rondo, the northerly part of his building has that type of finish.
No, they look great. Thank you. I'll go right to you. Mr. Otake.
So, Mr. Bowman, I'm not sure if this is for you or for Mr. Glidden, but other developments around the state, so like Glastonbury, Farmington, they have the shops and all. They have some national retailers and national restaurants that went in there. How did they avoid having their look, their feel, and keeping the look and feel of the rest of it, the continuity? Yes.
I mean, that's a good question, and I think it really depends on which franchise it is, and if it's a corporate owned store or it's an independently owned franchise. But they certainly have a particular look that they're trying to have people recognize when they drive by, and it's very recognizable. And I think it plays to some extent into just who they are and what they are. And while I'm assuming you can try to interject some of what we're trying to accomplish here, and hopefully most of what we're trying to accomplish here, but there will be certain items. They may have certain windows. They may have a certain front door entrance. So there's some certain components that they're going to stand by, and which is important to their marketing and their business.
Gotcha. And they're going to have to come back for approval too, correct?
No.
No, this is it.
So if they meet what they're showing tonight, the general architectural themes, it would be through a building permit process. They will not have to come back to this commission. If there's a substantive change that requires, basically a determination from the commission that's consistent, we may bring that back.
Gotcha. Just like
But-
Mr. Bowman said, if it's windows or something
You
like that.
you have commitments from the applicant, and he's revised his plans to show the out parcels now, in keeping with the architectural themes throughout the development.
So who makes that determination? Your office?
My office would, but we would do, if it was something that I think was a substantive change that this commission needs to see, we would bring it into you.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mr. Dawson had a question too.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I think if they stay with this layout, and I know sometimes you have to make minor, I think the landscaping and the way it's set up, I think it's going to be a nice picturesque, I guess you'd say, if you were driving by. It's, it's kind of unique. I was very impressed by the amount of shrubbery and landscaping in there. And, it's good for the town. You're entering, I always say, down that area, you're entering Cheshire, the North End. And I think it's a nice job if it goes through that way, and I appreciate the landscaping on it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, Mrs. Downs.
Could I ask, I'm not sure if it's you, about the landscaping? I went through the plantings, and for the most part, I have to, and Dan Overton's coming up. For the most part, I was actually pretty impressed that most of them are native. There are a few that are not. I don't know if you would be willing to work with trying to make them all native. I mean, I went through every single plant here in the perennials, and some of them, most of them are, not all of them are. And I was wondering if you would be willing to go in the direction of all native to the United States anyway, not native to New England.
We always tend to predominantly use native species. Sometimes for larger sites such as this, we'll mix in some non-natives to add some different colors, or just some different species to add more of a mix. If you feel strongly that you'd like them to be all native, we'd be certainly willing to do that.
Yeah, that would be great.
We did send this in front of the beautification committee, and I believe they looked favorably on it, but certainly be willing to consider some changes.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
I think if you would make suggestions through Mr. Glidden, we can take a look at them.
Okay. Yep, I can do that. Thanks.
Anyone else want
Mr. Natale.
Just a question. So when we're looking at that nice picture up there, is the state putting in that median, grass median, or is that just for the photo?
That was just for a photo. That's just a rendering. So no.
Okay. Look nice. So-
Question. I saw that myself. And definitely not doing that.
Is Route 10 getting widened at all? Because on this, it almost looks like it's getting widened and they're going to do some lineage. Is 10 getting?
Yes, so that's a good question. But we have our OSTA permit in hand, and we did make significant improvements to Route 10 from our intersection all the way to the Southington line, including some ramp improvements on the exit ramps. So it was a pretty significant process we went through with DOT and with OSTA. And we have our certificate, and it's been recorded at the town clerk's office.
Are you putting in what looks like sidewalks on the east side, or is the state doing that? Who's
Nope,
doing that?
we're doing it.
Really? That's
State,
nice.
the state had little interest in doing any of those types of improvements.
Oh, I like that. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Commission members, any other questions? No? Anything else
We're all
further?
set.
I go to the public, if anyone from the public wish to speak on this? No? Anything to wrap up, or?
No, I think we were pretty close to doing that also at the last meeting, and just the grading. We kind of slipped and didn't get into that.
Sure. Well,
last
it was
time.
just, it's a big project, and I wasn't prepared to vote without going back and looking at it. The question to get with Mr. Glidden about the native plants, I mean, I was planning on voting on this tonight. Do you guys feel we're okay with voting?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable? You could
You
discuss with him about the natives.
Told me to talk to him. I can give him suggestions.
See suggestions, and the
Right.
landscape architects will take that into consideration. They may disagree with you.
That's fine.
Yeah, but they-
One thing I would say that for the average Joe, and I don't mean to say that negatively, none of this really matters, but there's a certain population that considers this important, and they also might look favorably and be happy about if you were to come out and say, everything we're planting is native, and you get bragging rights for that, to say, we're doing the first development with all native plants, where it does matter to some, there's a certain population they would be excited about that. So just saying. Thank you. But yes, I'm ready to vote.
Okay, cool. So if you're all set, we're all set. I'm going to close this public hearing.
Thank you.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing? Move, Mr. Kadera, second by Mr. Dawson. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, I'm going to reconvene, bring up our regular meeting for Monday, March 13th, 2023. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes of the public hearing and regular meeting from 2/27/2023?
I move.
Moved by Mr. Bricado, seconded by
What do you?
Mr. Dawson. Just quick off the bat, as far as corrections. Absent, you got Sean Strollo, John Hilsinger, and Anita Blake. It was also Jeff Natali and John Carderas, right? Was also, they were absent on both our meetings. Well, she should have it right on the thing. Any other discussion problems on the? No. Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Mr. Kaderis abstaining. The motion passes 8-0-1. Okay. Do we have a motion for? Do you want to take the gas station first, or you want to take? You have them all lined up. So.
I get the gas station first, so that's okay.
Whatever you have in front, whatever you have in first.
Motion to approve application for approval of interchange special development project on behalf of Route 10 Fuel and Market Incorporated, applicant TriStar Development LLC, Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC owners. Applicant is requesting approval of interchange special development project for a gas station with convenience store and drive-through located at 1953 Highland Avenue, Assessors Map 4, Lot 13, Zone ICSDD. The approval is based on title Proposed Gas Station, Convenience Store, Stonebridge Crossing, prepared by SLR, with a revision date of January 26, 2023.
Move, Mr. Talley, second by Mr. Dawson. Discussion on this motion. Yep. Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Mr. Kaderis abstaining. Motion carries 8-0-1. Next motion, please.
Motion to approve application for a special permit on behalf of Route 10 Fuel and Market Incorporated, applicant TriStar Development LLC and Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC owners. Applicant is requesting special permit pursuant to section 40 and 45 of B5 of the zoning regulations for a gas station with convenience store and a drive-through located at 1953 Highland Avenue, Assessors Map 4, Lot 13, Zone ICSDD. The approval is based on plans titled Proposed Gas Station / Convenience Store, Stonebridge Crossing, prepared by SLR, with a revision date of January 26, 2022. The building design is based on plans titled Stonebridge Crossing, Highland Avenue, Route 10 and 691, Cheshire, Connecticut, prepared by Phase 0, with a revision date of February 9th, 2023. Further, the Cheshire Planning and Zoning Commission finds the applicant has demonstrated compliance to Section 40 and 45B of the Cheshire zoning regulations. The approval of special permit is subject to the following conditions. 1, the final plan should incorporate the following. A, the island in entrance will need to be a low mountable design or pavement markings as approved by the fire chief. B, show crosswalk and ramps at Stonebridge Court and Route 10 intersection. C, add no left-hand turn signs at the eastern exit of the site. D, clarify whether a Contact Cascade CS4 or Contact CDS 2020-5C will be used for the site. E, provide hoods for all the catch basins. And C, F, add the following note. All work to be completed in accordance with all permits and approvals issued by state and local, state and/or federal reviewing agencies. All work is to be performed in accordance with the standards of the town of Cheshire and applicable state codes. C, drainage report is to be updated, include table depicting pre and post stormwater peak flows and volumes to the site. 2, a fire lane markings and signage will be installed in areas that's determined by the chief of police, fire chief, I'm sorry. 3, accessible emergency power off shutoffs will be provided and clearly marked via electric vehicle charging stations. Final design to be approved by fire chief. 4, heights of canopies will need to be tall enough to accommodate truck traffic. 5, a fire department approved key box will be needed to be installed and maintained at a location approved by the fire chief or his designee. 6, the applicant is to provide the Cheshire Engineering Department copies of DOT state encroachment permit for any work within the state right-of-way. Said permit is provided before work within the right-of-way is to commence. And 7, the Planning and Zoning Commission authorized staff to approve minor modifications to site grading, landscaping, drainage, or lighting on their behalf. Said requests are to be made in writing to staff prior to implementation.
Moved by Mr. Natale, second by Mr. Mercado. Discussion on this motion.
Yeah, I have a question that, just recognize, I guess I can go back to the plan, try to figure it out. But the cars are coming in off of,
Stonebridge Crossing.
Woody, could you turn your mic on so we get you? Sorry,
hear me now?
I hear you now.
I've been accused of having a big mouth. I didn't think I needed it. Okay. So they're coming in here and they're exiting around that way and out, or are they gonna cross to the other street there?
No, there's no other street. There's no street back here. Back here is 691. That's 691. So they come in this way, go around the building if they're going to the drive-through or the gas stations, whatever, and exit a little bit on the east side.
All right, okay.
Actually, they might be able to exit also in the
No, I was just curious
both
because.
because you could come in here
Yeah.
and out here, but this one I believe was right turn only on the one that's on the east
It
side.
looks like they had 5 pumps there, and I was trying to say, okay.
Yeah, no, they don't have to turn around and come back. Anyone that goes through the drive-through or also goes out at a different exit.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other discussion? No. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries 801. Next motion, please.
Motion to approve application for earth removal, filling, or regrading permit on behalf of Route 10 Fuel and Market Incorporated, applicant TriStar Development LLC, Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC owners. Applicant is requesting special permit pursuant to Section 25 of the zoning regulations for earth removal, filling, or regrading of the property located at 1953 Highland Avenue, Assessors Map 4, Lot 13, Zone ICSDD. I just forgot one thing. In granting the special permit, the commission grants a waiver pursuant to Section 2559 of the zoning regulations. Further, the Cheshire Planning and Zoning Commission finds that the applicant has demonstrated compliance to Section 25 of the Cheshire zoning regulations. Approval is based on plans titled Proposed Gas Station Convenience Store, Stonebridge Crossing, prepared by SLR with a revision date of January 26, 2023.
Move Mr. Natale, second by Mr. Mercado. Discussion on this motion. What was that you just added in there? 25 point, whatever
It
it
was
was.
25.9. They actually requested that waiver, and that's filling grading within 50 feet of,
Oh, yeah, okay.
which they need to.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries 801. Next motion, please.
Motion to approve application for approval of interchange special development project on behalf of TriStar Development LLC and Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC. Applicant owners, applicant is requesting an approval of interchange special development project for a mixed-use development, including commercial, retail, and restaurants located at 2061 Highland Avenue and the adjacent parcels 1973 and 1989 Highland Avenue. Assessors map 4, lot 4, 7, and 9, map 3, parcel 58, see lots 5 and 6 on the map 471 filed with the town clerk's office. Zone ICSDD approval is based on the plans titled Retail Development Stonebridge Crossing Lot 5, prepared by SLR with a revision date of February 6, 2023.
Moved by Mr. Natale, second by Mr. Mercado. Discussion on this motion. Mr. Mercado.
Just a quick question for applicant. Is this all going to get started right away? And is there any kind of?
They can't answer
They
that.
can't
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. How about, do you know?
As soon as he can. How's that? Is that okay, Paul?
Mr. Natale.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this one. Thank you for bringing this to the town. The conceptual drawings look wonderful. I think it'd be a great addition. And, you know, I expect we're going to probably have a unanimous vote. So, thank you.
I piggyback on what you say. I think it's going to be enhance that area very much. Be very nice for the entrance coming into Cheshire. Thank you.
Yes, I have to agree. I'm excited. We might actually approve one that's gonna get done here. It's been a long time. So I think we're all very excited for this one. It looks beautiful, and I will be supporting it. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries 801. Next motion, please.
Motion to approve application for special permit on behalf of TriStar Development LLC, Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC, applicant's owner. Applicants requesting special permit pursuant to section 40 and 45B5 of the zoning regulations for mixed-use development, including commercial, retail, and restaurants, located at 2061 Highland Avenue and adjacent parcels 1973, 1989 Highland Avenue, Assessors Map 4, Lot 4, 7, and 9, Map 3, Parcel 58, see lots 5 and 6 on Map 4871, filed in the town clerk's office. Zone ICSDD. The approval is based on the plans titled Retail Development Stonebridge Crossing Lot 5, prepared by SLR with the revision date of February 6, 2023. The approval of the special permits following is subject to the following conditions. 1, the final plans shall incorporate the following. A, fire hydrants and water mains need to be extended to the rear of the buildings. Final layout and locations of water system will need to be approved by fire chief. B, islands in the entrance and drive aisles need to be a low profile curb or pavement markings to be approved by the fire chief. C, ADA compliant ramps on sheet LA1 are to be added to those that are missing on the detail. D, add a note that all site work to be completed in accordance with all permits and approvals issued by local, state, and/or federal reviewing agencies. All work shall be performed in accordance with the standards of the town of Cheshire and applicable state codes. C, drainage port is to be updated to include table depicting pre and post water peak flows and volumes for the site. Number 2, the architectural design will be based on the plans titled Stonebridge Crossing Route 10 and I-691, prepared by Scott Griffin Architects with a revision date of March 9th, 2023. A, the overall architectural themes and materials are noted on sheet 9 titled Exterior Finishes. And B, the design of the freestanding pad site shall incorporate the architectural themes and materials as shown on the approved plans. 3, the fire department approved emergency key box will need to be installed and maintained in areas designated by the fire chief. 4, mountable curb will need to be utilized in areas deemed necessary. 5, fire lane markings and signage will need to be provided and maintained. And 6, the Planning and Zoning Commission authorized staff to approve minor modifications to site grading, landscaping, drainage, and lighting in their behalf. Said requests are to be made in writing to staff prior to implementation.
Move Mr. Natale, second by Mr. Mercado. Discussion on this motion. None? Mr. Mercado.
Yeah, everybody I'm coming across in town is excited for this and can't wait to hear who's moving in.
You don't have any investment in that, do you?
I don't think
have
so.
any investment in that, do you?
Not at all.
Okay, just checking.
I'm sure I'll spend a lot there, though.
Well, you were full of love tonight. I just had to make sure.
Any other comments? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries 801. And the last motion, please.
Motion to approve application for earth removal, filling, and or regrading permit on behalf of TriStar Development LLC, Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC, applicant's owner. Applicants requesting a permit pursuant to Section 25 of the zoning regulations for earth removal, filling, or regrading for the property located at 2061 Highland Avenue and adjacent parcels of 1973, 1989 Highland Avenue, Assessors Map 4, Lot 4, 7, and 9, Map 3, Parcel 58, see Lots 5 and 6 on Map 4, 4871, filed in the Town Clerk's Office, Zone ICSDD. Further, the Cheshire Planning and Zoning finds that the applicant has demonstrated compliance to Section 25 of the Cheshire zoning regulations. The approval is based on plans titled Retail Development, Stonebridge Crossing, Lot 5, prepared by SLR with a revision date of February 6, 2023. And in granting the approval for the earth removal, filling, and regrading, the commission approves waivers. It should be Section 2551, 2553, and 2559 of the zoning regulations, because they requested 3 waivers.
Moved by Mr. Dawson, seconded by Mr. Natale. Any discussion on this motion? No. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries 801. All right. Congratulations. So we've done number 7, we've done number 8, number 9. Lisa Calhoun,
So
that's for
9, so 9 and 10, 11, and 12, or actually 11, 12, 13, and 14 are all scheduled for your next meeting for public hearings.
okay.
And then you have a, well,
New business, special permit.
you have a special permit. It's the,
The library.
Yep, that'll be
okay.
in April. And then there's another, it's 3 permits for an 830G appeal, which will be heard later in April, the second meeting in April.
Did you say appeal?
Yeah, so they've applied for affordable housing development pursuant to 830G. So it's what's called an 830G appeal, but really what they're doing a zone change, a text amendment, and a special permit for the, or site plan, I believe, for the development.
And they're coming in as 830G, not as our.
Correct. It's industrial.
Okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. Cordero, second by Mr. Dawson. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, one more. I'd like to call to order the Aquifer Protection Meeting for March 13th, 2023. We have a quorum. We've done the Pledge of Allegiance business, Route 10 Fuel and Market. Applicant. This is a first, I think, that we've ever had in our
Actually,
years.
we did them with the WS development.
Oh, did we really?
Um,
I don't even remember.
And it's really for the record, Anthony Fazzone. It's a kind of a matter of being conservative and coming forward with this application. If you look at the form, there's a list of regulated activities that the state puts out. And we're basically not applying to do any of those things anywhere within Lot 5 and 6, and even over the aquifer on Lot 1. And basically, we're just asking the commission to confirm that there are no regulated activities being applied for and being approved.
Okay. I mean, you explained that in the last one when Mrs. Downs asked you about not
That's
using
correct.
it. So
There is
it is there.
the regulation that I talked to Ms. Downs about is probably the most incomprehensible regulation that
Yeah.
you can, but it's there and we can't put it, we're
You
not,
have to follow.
we
yeah.
don't have any right to put a driveway in that part of Highland Avenue anyway.
Yeah, they
Or
would
the
not.
owners don't. So, but this is just a matter of caution on my part. The most likely somewhere along the line, the lender is going to ask, what about the Aquifer Protection Agency? And we'll be able to say, we came here and you acknowledge there is no protected activity.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Vazone? No. All right, this is not a public hearing, so do we have a motion?
I have motions for both. We'll do lot one first. Is that okay?
Sure, do whichever one. Yeah.
Motion that the commission finds the activities for the proposed development of Lot 1 of Stonebridge Crossing development does not involve regulated activities as per Cheshire's Aquifer Protection Ordinance.
Move Mr. Dawson, second by Mr. Natale. Discussion on the motion.
Michael, you're in agreement with that?
Yes, yes, I am. Yeah. Anthony, Attorney Fazone summarized how the ordinance operates. It's really a registry ordinance. Unless you're proposing something that's prohibited, you don't need a permit. So there's no regulated activity based on the location of the development of this parcel.
Okay. Any other discussion, questions? No. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Second motion, please.
Motion that the commission finds the proposed activities for the development of Lot 5 and 6 of Stonebridge Crossing development does not involve regulated activities as per Cheshire's Aquifer Protection Ordinance.
Move Mr. Natale, second by Mr. Dawson. Discussion on this motion, same thing. No. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just looking for that gold shovel, dig that hole.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our aquifer protection. Move Mr. Kaderis, second by Mr. Bricado, and everybody's in favor. Thank you.